So let's do some of the same stuff from the surface of the Renaissance, and then in the next tutorial, I'll show you some of the same things from the surface of the touch. So remember in the hardware overview, I didn't talk about the data select section on the MPC Renaissance hardware because I said it tied right into the browser. So to access the browser from the MPC Renaissance hardware, I would just touch the browser button. So as you can see from the display, I am now in the browser and I'm actually inside my drum kits factory contents folder. Okay, so here in the data select section, these buttons are my filters. So this is my project filter button. And then next to it, I have my sequence filter button. And then to the right of that, I have my program filter button. And then next to that, I have my samples filter and then no filter at the end on the far right. I can also get to my 5 assigned folders by using these same buttons, but I would have to hold down Shift. You see down here, there's folder 1, folder 2. They're the secondary functions for those buttons. So if I want to go into my folder 5 memory location, the MPC 60 drums, I'll hold Shift and hit no filter, which takes me into my folder 5 memory location, which remember I set up to my MPC 60 drums folder. And if I want to filter that folder to just show me programs, I can hit programs, and now I'm seeing the programs in that folder. Then I can use the data dial to scroll to find a program that I like, or I can filter for samples. So remember when you're scrolling through your samples, if auto audition is on, when I turn to select, I'm going to hear the samples. But I can change that on the hardware here also by holding down F2 for auto and changing that to off. And now when I scroll, you don't hear anything. If I want to hear something, I can also select it and then hit play. I can also adjust the volume of the audition by holding down F4 and then turning the data dial up or down to adjust the level of the audition. So I'm going to put it back on auto, go back under programs, and under programs, I'm going to choose a program to load. So I'm just going to scroll here and I don't know. So let's see what this is. I'm going to press F6 to load. So this is doing the same thing as if I had double clicked it in the softwares. Right now it's loading in all the samples from that program. Seem to be a lot of sounds in this program. And now on the pads, you have the sounds from that program. If I go to main, you can see that in this sequence, it's using the 612 power program that I just loaded. But with my cursor, I can select that program and then change that program with my data dial to the 1980 program. And I'm going to put it back on the program I just loaded. So there are sounds in multiple banks in this particular program. Lots of different sounds. Let's go back to just the drums. Oh, let me go back to my browser. So from the browser, if I need to get back out of a folder, like we did when we clicked this up arrow in the software. So on the hardware, we can go in and out of folders with the cursor. So if I want to, let's say for instance, I'm going to scroll down here and let's say I want to know what's in the AKAI X10 drums folder. So I'm going to highlight it here, hit the right cursor arrow, and now I'm inside that folder and there's one program. Instead of loading the program, I just want to see what the samples are. So I'm going to filter for samples and then I can audition them by scrolling. And if I decide I don't like any of that and I want to get out, I can hit the back cursor arrow and that will take me out of that folder. And every time I hit the back arrow, it will take me up another level. And I can continue to do this with the back or the left arrow button until I'm all the way back into my root. And there's nowhere else to go. Cool. So this is the exact same workflow that you'll find on the MPC Studio. You have the same data select buttons here, project filter, sequence filter, program filter, sample filter, no filter. And of course, holding down Shift will allow you to access folders 1 through 5. And the browser button is here. This is the exact same setup. In the next tutorial, I'll show you how to access and use your browser from an MPC Touch.